In the beginning scene, we'll see a few American Marines storming a building in the Middle East, but after seeing that it's filled with only civilians and some children, their attention wanes. Little did they know it was all a trap, and the Marines are immediately ambushed, resulting in several soldiers getting killed. In another scene, the Marines are back on duty in the field. A young soldier named Logan notices something shining beneath a pile of rubble. As he picks it up, he realizes it's just a photo of a girl. Logan tucks the photo into his pocket. Suddenly, an explosion occurs right in front of him. While other soldiers perish, Logan survives and wakes up in the hospital ward. Meanwhile, a field surgeon has secured the photo and returned it to Logan after the attack. However, Logan informs them that the photo doesn't belong to him. Despite this, he keeps it and tries to identify the owner of the photo. He asks every member of the unit, but none of them recognize the photo or the woman depicted in it. Before the final mission, a teammate reveals that the photo might be a lucky charm. As Logan kisses the photo for good luck, the same soldier remarks, "If we make it out alive, we owe it to the woman in that photo." However, before their conversation can conclude, a bomb strikes their jeep, tragically claiming the lives of everyone except Logan. This event instills a belief in Logan that the woman in the photo is his guardian angel, who continues to protect him from harm. He firmly believes that the presence of the photo brings him luck and protection. After leaving the military, Logan returns to his sister's home in Colorado, where he had entrusted his dog, Zeus. He witnesses the joy of his sister's family, which he has missed. However, despite reintegrating into civilian life, Logan is still haunted by his traumatic experiences on the battlefield. When he hears his nephews playing a video game, he becomes startled and mistakenly believes they are in danger. It's clear that Logan is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, survivor guilt, and haunting memories. His environment triggers feelings of pressure. As a result, his sister suggests that he visits his former teammates. However, Logan is unaware that they have all passed away. Losing direction and meaning in life begins to gnaw at him. Finally, Logan decided to search for the woman in the photo. He compared the background of the picture with images on the internet, hoping to find clues about her identity. Next, Logan and Zeus embarked on a journey to visit the lighthouse seen in the background of the photo. He showed the picture to the locals, and one of them informed him that the woman had been married to an old friend of his, a deputy sheriff in the area. However, the resident didn't have any further information about her current whereabouts. In the next scene, Logan continues his journey, visiting various locations in search of the woman. Finally, through an unexpected turn of events, Logan obtains information about her identity. He discovers details about Beth, a woman who manages a pet training center on the outskirts of town. Armed with this newfound information, Logan promptly decides to visit the training center. The next day, Logan visits Beth's residence. However, before he can express the purpose of his visit, Beth mistakenly assumes that Logan has come to apply for a job at her pet training center. They engage in a brief conversation, but when Logan mentions his past service as a Marine, Beth falls silent momentarily. The expression on her face reveals that there are traumatic events in her own past. However, after learning that Logan has traveled over 1,500 kilometers to apply for a job at her pet training center, Beth becomes slightly suspicious and decides to seek her grandmother Ellie's advice. She suspects that Logan may be a deranged stalker. Ellie quickly approaches Logan and asks, "Are you a crazy person?" Logan falls silent for a moment and responds, "No, ma'am." As Ellie observes Logan's friendly and genuine demeanor, especially when he mentions his past as a Marine, she too falls momentarily silent. After some time, Ellie finally hired Logan to work at her pet training center. Logan quickly adapted to his job and worked hard to fix their damaged house and repair their vehicles. Ellie praised Logan's work ethic and stated that hiring him was the right decision. However, even though Logan worked diligently, Beth remained wary of him. She felt the need to be cautious because she didn't know Logan's true motives for coming there. She also noticed that Logan often stared at her, which further increased her suspicion. As time went by, Logan started building a close relationship with Beth's son, Ben. They spent time together, chatting and playing chess. Seeing Logan's interaction with Ben, Beth began to feel the seeds of affection growing in her heart. Before leaving for work, Logan intended to reveal the real reason he came there to Beth. However, when he stood right in front of her, the words seemed to get stuck in his throat. In the next scene, Beth and Ellie visit their brother's grave, reminiscing about his painful departure. When they return, chaos ensues, and Beth is shaken by overwhelming emotions. Logan rushes to her side, offering comfort amidst the grief. In an emotional conversation, Beth and Logan talk at length about how Beth's brother Drake, who was also a Marine, had fallen in battle 6 months prior. The military never provided a clear explanation of Drake's death, which deeply affected the siblings. Every time Beth thinks of her brother, she is reminded of the moments they played together as children. However, now that Drake is gone, these memories only evoke anger and bitterness within her. Within weeks, Logan has become a beloved part of Beth's family. His presence brings positive influence and helps restore happiness in their household. However, one day, Beth's ex-husband, Keith, arrives to pick up their son, Ben, and take him to a baseball game. Upon their return, they find Ben with a bloody nose, while Keith continues to laugh it off. Witnessing this, Logan is consumed by anger, and they engage in a heated altercation. After that argument, the relationship between Logan and Beth grows even more intense. They continue to exchange passionate glances, even at Ben's birthday party. Logan is always there for Beth, providing support and protection. Witnessing this, Keith becomes furious and forces Beth to choose between her relationship with Logan or he will take Ben away from her. Beth knows all too well the strong influence her ex-husband has in her life, so with a heavy heart, she decides to end her relationship with Logan. However, when she returns home, Ellie asks her if she wants to continue living in fear of Keith. Hearing those words, Beth reflects on the years of her vulnerability and looks at her peacefully sleeping son. The next morning, Beth drives her car to her ex-husband's house and confronts him directly. She declares that she will no longer tolerate his behavior, and if Keith wants custody rights over Ben, they will have to settle it in court. After that, Beth goes to Logan's house and they finally reunite. They spend the night and the following morning passionately, filling the void they had both been longing for. When Beth asked Logan the real reason he came there, Logan answered that he came to find her. Beth was filled with happiness like never before, but that happiness was short-lived when her ex-husband, Keith, found Logan's car parked outside their house. Keith started investigating Logan's background and found out that he was the one who took the iconic photo that led to the discovery of Beth's whereabouts. When Logan wasn't home, Keith sneaked in and stole the photo. Later, he went to meet Beth and told her that Logan only came there because he was responsible for Drake's death and now trying to redeem himself. Beth immediately recognized the photo she had once given to her brother, Drake. Horrifying thoughts raced through her mind. Meanwhile, Logan realized that the photo was missing and hurried to Beth's house. When Beth inquired about the photo, Logan honestly recounted his story. He explained that he had taken it in a war zone and that the photo had saved his life. He promised repeatedly to return and find the girl in the photo. However, at that time, Beth didn't believe a word Logan said, not even giving him a chance to explain. She angrily told him to leave. Meanwhile, Ben, who overheard their conversation, ran out and gave a book to Logan. Logan, in turn, gave his tag name to Ben as a sign of their friendship. In that moment, Logan discovered a photo of Beth's brother, Drake, inside the book. Meanwhile, Keith, who was drunk, came and told Beth how much he missed her and wanted to come back to her. When Beth refused, Keith threatened to take their son away again. Ben, who accidentally overheard this conversation, started running away. Unfortunately, he ran towards a rickety suspension bridge that crossed the river. Keith chased after him, but the bridge tilted to one side and began sinking into the water. Ben gripped onto the last rope with all his strength, and Keith jumped into the water to save his son. As Keith managed to grab Ben, they held onto a rope connected to the fragile treehouse. Right at that moment, Logan appeared and jumped into the water to rescue Ben and Keith. However, Keith's foot got stuck on the bridge. While Logan successfully brought Ben to safety, Keith tried to free himself. Unfortunately, when Logan was about to return to save Keith, the treehouse collapsed into the water, resulting in Keith's tragic demise. A few days passed, and Logan decided to leave. However, before departing the town, he felt the need to meet Beth once again. It was their last chance to talk. Logan went to Beth's house, which still appeared sorrowful and lonely. Standing before her, Logan revealed the photo of Drake tucked inside the book. He sacrificed his own life to save his comrades when our platoon was ambushed, and the next day, "I found your photo there," Logan said. Beth looked at the photo with tears streaming down her face. She was still grieving over the death of her sister and husband, and now she had to face the reality that Logan would also leave her. Logan saw the pain in Beth's eyes, and he knew he couldn't leave her in this state. He decided to quietly leave the city the next day. Logan stood up and turned to leave, but just as he was about to take a step away, he heard a familiar voice calling his name. Logan turned around and saw Beth running towards him. He embraced her tightly, and Logan could feel tears wetting his shoulder. "Don't go," Beth said, "because this is where you belong."